Hey everybody, welcome to... It's on?
Oh, it was? Alright.
I do need the microphone.
I didn't realize it was live before, that's all.
This is why we have so many sound problems.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to a special bonus stream that you can't see yet because we haven't linked it anywhere. But we are slowly recovering from last night's great Big Wing Commander party, and since everybody is still in town, we figured we would...
continue commanding.
Continue hanging out. I will tweet that there. And,
I think, Chris, I feel like there are instructions. Shoot, where are they? I don't know if they're in a forum post or something.
Yeah, I kind of know how to do it. I really know how to do it in Windows. Not so much so well in Mac.
I feel like there's something that listed the...
So we're trying to get an Armada game going, and hopefully we will have that up shortly. We'll do a little bit of Armada-ing, and other than that, we're just do stuff and things.
Yep, we're recovering and relaxing from yesterday.
Yes.
Last evening.
Yeah, we had lots of fun celebrating the 21st anniversary, and now we are... looking forward to the next year of Wing Commander community and
starting our 22nd. You had a chair, Shane. That is very appropriate, actually.
I feel no shame.
I can tell. Now we're all here.
Except for Joe, who went home.
Got it mounted. I don't know how to change like cycles and stuff.
Probably still the same control or command F.
Oh yeah, it's all in the. No. Because the Mac hides all your files somewhere weird.
Oh, I got it. I got that part. I got it mounted.
Part,
I don't know how to do all the commands though.
Yeah, I feel like there might be a list. I don't know what it's in. I feel like it's in this.
We'll search Discord, see if it's on there.
I think it's got it. I want to say it's probably in there somewhere, or we put it somewhere because I remember from last time when we did this, we were like, we should save these and put them somewhere, and then of course. Oh, you know what? Please tell me we're really smart, but I doubt we were. How do I see... Where are the pins hidden on this? There we go, pin messages.
Well, while you switch to a gameplay screen, while you set that up, I'm gonna fly patrol and make some money in privateer.
Okay, I got it. I think.
This still works. We made a lot of impromptu changes to the
I always forget
streaming setup last night.
We'll end up getting pinned sometimes.
I think I just don't know how to get a multiplayer game going.
I'm trying to. I'm looking for the directions for you right now. I'm trying to see if they're okay. They are not.
I know how to do it from.
That's not. Maybe it's in the other one. This is right.
If you recall from yesterday, we
how could we forget?
We finished Privateer, and we're going to be starting Righteous Fire on a formal episode of this show.
Oh, here we go.
It's the problem with having so many saved games. Okay, I'm going to find the save game. Everything will be great. We're not ready at all for this today.
No, there was zero prep. That's even less than normal.
Yes.
Which is impressive.
Now, there's a surprising amount of prep for the show. It just still isn't good.
Yeah, what? Because Chris suggested that we talked about it for a minute and then walked in here? Yes. For some reason, I found evidence of everything else besides our instructions. Maybe it is in this. Because I found a picture of... What do we... Why load it?
Yeah, I think. Do we need to do the IPXNet Connect stuff?
No, it's all set up in the GOG already.
Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't have to do.
Yeah, don't have to worry about any of that stuff from the CIC.
Yeah, they've saved. Yeah, I'm trying to help you.
You just have to open a particular port. Well, no, we have that on my router already, so we're good.
Yeah, there's something where.
Okay, so then I just click the multiplayer and I host and join networking.
Yeah. Hold on.
Actually, here, let me quit Privateer for now. I'll start up an Armada server.
So, yeah, because he has to. I think,
I'm hardwired. And
start something.
okay. GOG Armada.
I'm looking. I don't.
Okay.
No. Oh, here we go.
Okay, start network host game.
Oh, here we go. There's a.
Do Armada.
Is this a new? Yeah. There was a front page story, How to Play Wing Commander with Friends, from February 26th of this year, and that has the instructions for you, Chris.
Okay.
Well, I think
So, are you hosting or joining?
I'm hosting.
It's like.
Okay, so I'm going to go join.
Yeah, I think.
Join, you want to connect to my IP, which is also
Okay.
your
Do
IP.
you know what it is?
Just ask Google what's my IP. No.
That's weird that you have like that fan. It looks different on yours. Maybe it has that.
Okay.
Oh, I guess because on. Oh, because it's the Mac thing.
Use default group name, adding Armada.
Okay. And I can just type in your...
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, it should just do that. And then you would go to play as a client, start network. Well, which one? Yeah, you have the client one. You have to launch the multiplayer shortcut of the exe.
I did that.
Okay. Because there's and then you should choose like a client, and then the other thing. Then you enter the IP, so you should be
Armada?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should have asked you the IP as you were starting up.
Yeah, he did that already.
Okay,
So you have to
got
do Armada, and then now you just go into the multiplayer screen. It should take a second. He'll pop up. It's kind of funky. There was a photo or a picture of you and I talking smack in one Armada game, and I can't get this stupid thing to fully load. There's only reason that ridiculous the chat menu part in the middle of it. Which is such a weird, like all this communication stuff is so weird and such a product of its era.
No, if I could redesign the CIC, I would make it look just like this. I
Okay.
I love these 90s
I'm not
menus.
seeing anything
It's very
here.
difficult to read.
Huh.
Because keep going. You might have to use. You have to hit yes or because it has to. You're still not actually in there yet.
Okay.
Because it takes it a second, and then it should. I don't know if there's something still. They want you to type anything else because I feel like it wants 2 yeses there, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to remember.
I can look up here. I hit yes, and then I enter my call sign. Did you enter
Yeah,
my
I
call
know. There's
sign?
something. He's stuck. This is the same thing we ran
Okay.
into where it's not going to do anything for you. Something is weird.
Did
Because
you-
it should do the adding Armada, and then it should ask for your call sign it'll take a few seconds, but let's see. I think.
So I'm going to start over here. So I'm going to hit multiplayer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then
Join
join.
a network game.
Yep.
And then
Yeah, into the
IP address. Just
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, let me read this again too to make sure I'm not missing any step. Although maybe he has to open that port too. Didn't we feel like at one point that was something?
No, it was just on the router.
Okay. Here, let me see here.
Oh,
Network client.
is it thinking I'm a host?
You should start client game rather than host
Did
game.
I have that?
Oh yeah, there.
There's
no,
two
but
separate.
Is there two separate? Oh, there might be two separate things. No, hold on. Select. I think it's because it looks diff. The problem is you don't have. You're not getting like you get that menu, but there's like this one. Right there.
You don't have the little GOG executable with
Yeah, with the 3 choices, because it should have single player, network client, network host, which you sort of get, but not fully. Which is neat. I can go get my laptop too. Because,
Yeah, it's already set up on there, isn't it?
I believe so for the most
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
From last time.
Yeah. Because I remember we ran into the same problem where it's like, it's not seeing the group. Because you should see, like, in the upper right corner, it should say, like, Armada and one
Yeah, I
name.
clicked on join client, but it says host here.
Yeah.
So that seems like part of the problem.
Maybe that's why GOG got rid of their Mac version.
Yeah. Would it make, I mean,
Here, let me go.
would it let you join as a...
Yeah, let me know.
Okay.
You can try it.
Well, whatever's faster. Is Donut getting his thing?
Yeah. But it's gonna be really exciting once we finally get it working.
That's right. Instead, you're watching the technical aspect of the program.
Behind the scenes.
IHOP is very blah. All of those kind of places are very blah because you when you want them, you think in your mind they're better than they are. Like, yeah, I can't wait to have those eggs and pancakes. And you're like, man, these suck.
Well, let me stick up for IHOP because we went there the other day.
Oh, jeez, I didn't realize they were one of our sponsors.
Allie got the churro pancakes, which were pancakes covered with cinnamon goo and then with tiny churros on top, and it was pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, I made burgers, so I got the IHOP burger, which was a mistake. I got very sick, but her churro was very good.
Ah, I know that feeling. It's like an IPA.
Some of us had better nights than others overnight.
I had a great night, except for about 1 hour period. Other than that, it was fine. But it was my birthday, or allowed to, you know.
Not your birthday anymore. You no more sympathy.
That's true. I'm not one of those people who needs a whole month or a week.
It's my birthday year.
Unless it's a lady trying to, you know, remind, and then yes, we'll celebrate every day, all day.
It's not likely to happen, though.
Maybe for you. Maybe for you. Are you fully loaded windows here? Let's see. This feels kind of weird. Oh, that was stupid, Jason. That was stupid.
Well, while we wait, check out my cool privateer. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a cool privateer mug. Got it on Etsy.
Did I not make a shortcut on my desktop? I apparently did not.
It's called It's just called multiplayer because GOG is not good at
Yeah,
organizing
no, I
things.
thought I had dragged the executable to the desktop, but I had not. This is weird. Now, like, you could actually mount things, and I could be behind you, like, voicing you. Hello, my name is Ben, and I hate everyone here. Ha ha ha. And they'd never know it wasn't you.
Yeah, we do like a clutch cargo thing.
There you go. Where the hell did I put them? Oh, here we go. Goog. Why are you not in there, you bleepity bleeps? It says Goog Games, and you know Game's not in there? Armada.
You're the only person in the world who calls it Goog.
It just, yeah, I do. I don't know why either.
It's because you're from New England.
It's probably true. Alright, where are you? Launch multiplayer. Here we go. Let's try this.
Who's ready for some very quiet fun? Here's a little
It's,
spaceship that's kind of like a rapier.
Is it still, got this. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm guessing your IP probably is the same. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't think it's changed.
Here. Alright, let's see.
But don't say it on the stream or someone will wind nuke me.
I don't know if that's still. I should have turned on the sound probably. We're getting the headphones.
Okay,
I
moment of
can't run the
truth.
script. I can't. I don't want Chris Reed to. He doesn't. Let's see what happens here.
Chat box. It's a technical term. But isn't this script great? It's so.
Yes, we are the
brings
same
you right back to 1994.
network, Mike. I don't know why. Come on. I actually just cut it the other day to 1/2 inch because when the beard was getting long, it was when it's like 1 inch long, it's too much for me. I'm just reading chat.
Oh, okay.
I'm not just. So I don't. All right. So that's.
I've decided to stop talking about my beard.
Yeah. I don't know what the problem is. We're having that same stupidity where it's spelled Armada. Tell me anything dumb like that, right?
Hmm.
Okay, well, let's try that again. I guess you can go. Make sure it's the right thing here. Network client. 97. Let's just double check. Just double checking. Let's see what happens. What's my IP?
You want me to check mine to make sure it's the same?
Yes, that's a good idea. I mean, it is the same as before, so I have to imagine that it's something else dumb we're doing.
Yeah, maybe nothing should have changed.
Yeah, nothing has changed. I mean, is it... And it doesn't get... I don't think it gets angry because you already have the game.
Is that what you have?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Now at least it's being stupid mode. That's some
I'm
progress.
glad it's not just me.
Yeah, no, this was one of the we discovered this. It's like a weird...
No, we had this working very smoothly at one
We
point.
did, which I forget what we're forgetting. I mean, net play. I'm just gonna hit F1 and say screw it. Let's see if that does both of it all at once. And let's sit for a sec. Because this does usually take a second, but not.
Yeah, it takes a 1994 appropriate amount of time to connect.
Yeah.
You want to try Proving Grounds instead?
Why is it? Okay, what it's doing. Because yeah, we have it set up as we've always have, so I don't understand what we've managed to futz.
Let me try starting a Proving Grounds server and see if that works.
Yeah, watch it be something dumb like that. Wait, didn't we have some issue with this before? If the server sat too long or something like that, it wouldn't.
Why don't you try starting a server and I'll try connecting to it.
All right. What, Proving Grounds or Armada?
Do an Armada server.
All right. Start network host.
Let me know when that's up, and I will.
Roger. Yeah, because that's the other. Yeah, you can't connect too fast.
Sweet spot. I think safe cracker. So, how's everybody's weekends going?
Do you have to hit start or are you waiting?
I'm waiting for him to start his,
Just see.
start his server.
Wait a minute, though. Why is this taking? Oh, all right. You see, now that seemed about a right amount of time.
So you started a server. I'm going to start a client
it's
game.
still initializing, clicking up.
Okay.
But that was like the appropriate amount. You know how
Yeah.
time it takes. It's usually like, yep, it's good. But I haven't created the game yet. I'm just sitting in that lobby. Let's see if that helps.
Armada.
All this because we just wanted to see how many transports you could have at one nav point.
Let's see. Multiplayer, net play.
And just hit your F1 script and save.
Group name, edit Armada.
Which should take 15 to 20 seconds. Look like.
3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000.
This is where I feel like it's something's. What the hell's wrong?
Yeah, I think something's wrong. We'll have to.
But I wonder what could it be. I mean, it's not like it's updated.
Yeah, really, nothing should have changed.
Yeah. Well, let's give
Some
this a-
Windows security update has specifically locked
That's
out.
actually. I see that too. I mean, it's blinking, but. I mean, I don't see anything. It's not popping up anything. But yeah, it definitely should, like, by now.
Yeah, it's
Because it should have asked for your call sign at least.
No, I had mine already set in.
Oh, did you? But did you F1 or did you just hit yes?
I had F1.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, that's not working.
Let's see.
You want to try Proving Ground?
Yeah, I guess. Let's see what's happening here.
I will start a Proving Ground server, and you, if I
Mm-hmm.
put my cursor anywhere.
Let me see. Do I have...
Close Armada. Multiplayer.
Seems
Start
fine.
Network host game. Start game. Proving Ground. I remember this problem. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't the Proving Grounds splash screen cool?
It is.
Yeah, it's a great one. Sure. Alright, you up there? Almost.
Not quite. There we go. IPXNet play. F1 login is love. Attempting.
That's right, this adds the fancier thing so you can actually see the timer and...
Yeah. Loaf has been registered. Creating a Proving Grounds game. We'll try a low number of asteroids.
Yeah.
Alright. See if you can connect to this Proving Grounds game.
Come on, baby, no whammies. If only we had, video evidence of how... Oh, I just hit the wrong button. Oh, thankfully DOSBox wasn't actually working, so that's good.
Could always do that. Back and forth.
So, how you guys doing? Sleep okay?
Actually,
There we go.
better sleep than.
Oh,
normal.
wonderful.
Yeah. The two fathers said without their children they had a great night's sleep. That doesn't mean anything deep down, but just saying. Just saying. Alright, let's see. Attempting. We're counting down to 0. Shoot. Something is wrong.
Alright.
We have done something wrong. Which is odd since we've done this right so many times. You don't see me.
Yeah, we'll have to troubleshoot this.
What is going on? What was wrong? What would make this wrong in the past? That would be different now.
We need to solve this problem in the past, present, and future all together.
We really, yeah.
Then we'll
We
converge.
really should have figured this out somehow. Because I remember doing... Obviously I remember doing it, but I don't remember what the hell we did. Like... Let me see if we actually told ourselves how to avoid this, which maybe we did.
Might be more interesting on the same screen anyway. That way the stream can see.
That's
Why-
that's
Oh, you
true.
could do that
That's
too.
True. If we did back and forth play, the viewers would see both sides of it, and we just have to be extra nimble at the hot seat,
Yeah.
That's true.
which would be fine too.
And they could be calling out stuff. It could be kind of cool.
Hey, that's my turn. Why are you creeping? Also fair enough.
You think about it for a minute. I'm going to play one mission in Privateer just so we actually
Yeah,
have
I'm just
some...
reading through just in case we did something. Because, I remember there being...
I would think that if we don't see a lot of Armada, just because people that maybe never been on Armada strategic mode stream on the internet.
Yeah, no, we've done it a few... We did, the one sector, I think. We did once, one, and then just to show it off, and that's when it was like, hey, let's put 2 carriers at one nav point and see what happens. And then we were both blown away where it's like, my god, they're both there! That's the last thing you'd expect. Yeah, just UDP port 213 is the only thing, which makes part of me wonders, could it forget that?
Oh, what, opening the
Yeah,
port?
the machine, I can't...
I mean, maybe...
I'm reading through this. Da-da-da-da-da.
Where is the Pollux system?
Let's see.
Okay, so that's... pain in the butt.
Well, we didn't answer this question in our own thing here, so... But I remember this being an issue that we had to surmount about why they did not... There's some reason they don't show up to each other. There's 100...
I don't think it's something I ran into before, but let me,
No, we definitely did. There was something we first tried and we could... There was but it was the router.
Alright.
That's what I think I remember the issue being was the router wasn't done, but we did that. I can't imagine it's changed or reset itself.
Let's see. Go to my router right now.
Let's see. Let us see. Hey, 249 subscribers.
That's cool. We
That's
need
pretty
one more
impressive.
friend.
You always want one more friend. Always one more.
What is my? Let me go back to our. So you can see us.
I was gonna say it's probably one of those things where the answer to this is in one of the beta shows. I think when we were doing that, so we encountered this problem. I feel like it's got to be the port itself. I mean, that's what makes sense. I think because it's like they're logged on, but to different areas on the same spot.
Why can't I just go to my router in my browser like I used to?
Oh, maybe this is it. Maybe, yeah, maybe Fios has done something dumb. And they have been doing things that are weird lately. Just 4 guys on a Sunday figuring out 30-year-old technology problems. Yep.
Fios takes my. No, I don't need a security warning for using my own router, guys. Of course, the question is, what is the password for my router? Which I don't know.
That's one of those things. I feel like we did. This is.
It's. I mean, I think it's written on it.
Is it where? Is it upstairs?
No, it's in the bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think Ellie is getting dressed.
Well, what's the easiest thing to do?
Do you want to single? I think we have to single seat it for the moment. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Where? Who would like to play?
You two should play.
We can have a rematch.
That's you. Listen. That's
Yeah,
I was
you
trying-
guys
No,
are the- yes,
I know
that's-
exactly what he's thinking.
Let me.
I remember that game where I was like, "How is it possible to have that many things? That doesn't. That's not how turns work. I think, but this doesn't seem right." It's true. Although you just have to do quick combat, obviously. I gotta think about that. Duh. It has to be the router thing, though.
Share the keyboard.
Alright, here's Armada in.
It's still multiplayer. It's
Multiplayer,
technically split screen, and then you
screen.
can quick combat it.
Is it Battle or
No,
Armada?
it's Armada.
Armada.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
You wanna do maybe?
Well, here, I will let
How
you
long?
guys
How long
take
did
over.
Small take you guys?
Not that long.
No.
I would do medium at least.
Yeah. Certainly. Here.
Alright, yeah,
I'm
I will
gonna-
get out of your way.
I'm just gonna respond to this student.
Is it streaming? Are we online?
Yeah.
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 You're video now.
We've been out in the world the whole time.
I will go find my router password. Is there sufficient light?
Oh yeah. No, you can. Yeah, you can
see?
see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you,
Everything's all good.
player one? You can be player one.
No, I just responded to this student's email real quick.
Okay.
So yeah,
Do you want me to be player one?
certainly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Live.
Planning out your final presentation PowerPoint. So I just want to get this kid. I'll trust you to enter, not Mr. Smelly Farts for my name if you have to.
Well, you get to put your own name in when you...
That's it.
Okay, so we're playing. So I just start.
Yep, just start rocking away. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's switch over there.
Oh, this is a pretty sensitive mouse.
Yeah, he has it turned up pretty high.
Okay.
All right.
Is that?
Oh no! Don't use that if you want to have one, because you can see, just to give you an idea what it looks like. The cameras are surprisingly.
Okay. It's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially when my head's in the way,
Oh,
because
yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah. I tend to bring in a lot of light. Oh, this is way turned up.
That's a grip.
I almost feel like I need to hold this mouth with 2 hands because it's so touchy. Like, whoa. Like it's gonna take long.
No, I'm not.
I know. I feel like
I gotta keep looking away. So.
But then it's like I'm gonna watch the stream instead. Well, wait, it's right there as well. Oh.
I'm just looking at the chat.
Uh huh. That's what they all say. Alright.
Turn 2.
Let's find that. Making a way. Blah 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 blah. Wow, that was fast. Really?
I suppose Ace could look at both and provide the commentary, the neutral.
As we move into the deep
neutral
sector,
play-by-play.
that's true.
So far, Dunderdle is significantly behind.
I will say that yes, my turns are taking a long time as I struggle to overcome the sensitivity of the mouse. It is quite. Although I see my corner of the universe here is a little bit blockaded. Let's see. All right. Well. This kid made the mistake of calling me my first name. I don't know you, kid. It always drives me crazy. All right. Now it's hard to comment without having to look over. I'm just staring straight ahead now. Trying not to look at the green lines. Actually, I could be smart and pop out the chat like I normally do. I don't know why I didn't think of that before this. Lights are good. Everything's good. Let's see. The crowd will tell us. Oh yeah, I've lost Armada to a lot of people. That's true. I forgot about that. Thank you, Scout, for reminding me that you also defeated me like a jerk. I remember that now. Ah, you win some, you lose some. Sometimes you win or you lose a lot, and that just happens. What the hell's the 80? That's a suck one.
That other fan went the whole stream yesterday.
Really? It's an amazing little fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on an airplane, like when they cut the Cabin fans and you're just suffocating.
Alright. Yeah, if only we could figure out what's going wrong with this though. I wish I knew what was causing it to be dumb. It has to be the router, I imagine, because that's what screwed up the first few times too.
Routers seem to cause a lot of trouble.
Yeah, because it's just like it wants that. Because otherwise, I feel without that port open, you're both sitting in these just spots on the router and can't actually see each other, which is the sucky part. Definitely makes it crappier. No, we've moved beyond troubleshooting and simply given up completely and just doing it on one screen. Oh, good God, don't tell me I have one of these right now. A student who hasn't done anything the entire course and is now attempting to do everything in the final week, where I then have to say, yep, you get zeros because these are all so late they can't be turned in.
Wow.
Yep. I'm guessing that's what it is. Yep. That's what it is. Alright. Alright, Empire, let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do. Got a kind of a funky corner here in terms of my jump lines.
Forgot how much, like, even a medium, like, there's so many more ways that each jump node goes in so many more directions that given the limited few ships you have in the beginning, you're just, like, covering a lot of bases.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to make it more than 2-player.
Mm.
Man, you could do so much.
Yeah, even adding like a few more like one type of escort ship or something, say like a destroyer flying around with a transport or something like that, or like a cruiser that can go out, not having the full armada, but having a gigantic chunk of it. Oh my! Yep, Yep. I don't know what this person thinks they're doing, but I can tell you what I will not be doing. Great. See, it's a good thing the microphone blocks just enough of the screen where I can't actually see the playing area. I can just see the... Well, yes, I mean, that is a proper way that maybe we didn't start troubleshooting because we had to troubleshoot the password for the router itself, but that's still part of the process we gave up on, that's all. Yes, he is there. And Loaf is admiring from the hallway. As we hot swap.
Hey everybody, got the router password.
Oh,
So,
we'll try that.
figure that out of this.
Let me guess. What? Of course you suck like that. Oh, great. Nice jump line. The biggest kind of hurdle with this is how high you have your mouse set. It's very, very sensitive.
I noticed that it seemed to just start with Armada though.
Oh, really? Oh, and here I thought it was something like you wanted it this crazy.
No, Armada has some weird effect on your PC when you run it in DOSBox. Like, normally we have the window here that shows our camera, and
Yeah.
Armada, for whatever reason, makes that hide.
Oh, yeah, probably resizes everything so ridiculously.
Yeah. And it really should just be another 320 by
Yeah.
200 DOSBox program.
I'm just turning my back to everyone so that, I can't cheat. Although I'm noticing that this sector has some interesting jump lines. Not the best, looks like. I'll just be back here reading book titles.
What book titles are you seeing back there?
I see Awesome Super Nintendo Secrets 2.
I got into a period where I was buying like random bunch of game together books because they have a section on Wing Commander.
Oh, there you
There's a
go.
bunch of those in there. We'll cover them on the show sometime.
I see Freddie Prinze Jr.'s unofficial biography.
That was one that was not scanned on archive.org, so I had to get it.
No, of
See what it
course.
said about Wing Commander.
Of course. We've got, let's see. I'm looking for a more unique one. 3DO Games, Book 2.
Well, it's time for your
Alright.
close-up.
Man, he was moving a lot of crap. I don't have that much crap. This is always a bad sign.
Well, I think the problem you've both fallen into in this game is that Chris is really good at the strategic part of Armada.
Hmm.
In fact, I think this is the exact situation, which is why you have
Oh, come on!
a gameplay aspect. Yeah, you can balance it out by being really good at the dogfighting.
Like, I've really... I mean, for the record, I'd like to show that this is one... oh, God. Thank you, random sector generator, you dink. Yeah. Oh. That was that was a jump line to nowhere. Which I feel like doesn't happen too terribly often in Armada. You don't get screwed a lot with something like that.
Well, with the campaign sectors, they're all nicely designed to...
Yeah, be kind of balanced.
There's some tricks, but there's advantages for everybody. For the random generators, they are randomly generated.
Yeah.
They can bone you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'd love to take apart the game and figure out how it generates the random sectors.
Yeah, because it certainly has limitations and things placed on it to figure out. With how it chooses jump lines and where they appear, where they don't appear.
What the resources for each planet. Where does it pull the planet names from?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could get a list of all the possible planet names.
I mean, it seems to reuse ones that are used in the campaign, but I wonder if there are others it doesn't. I wonder what the total bank is.
All right.
I think it's going really well.
Is the internet saying anything?
That, they're very intently watching. So far, there has been $20 on you to win.
Yeah, I would see that. I'm not surprised by that, to be honest. That's not shocking to me. That is not shocking to me right now.
Yeah, there's some tricks to an Armada battle when you play it without the dogfighting. Like, you assumed if you had lots of fighters, that's great, but it weighs the heavy fighters so much more heavily that it can be better to have one Corlar rather than 30 arrows. Learning how it pitches the battles is important.
Shit. That actually doesn't work. Yes, I can imagine this is not going to be a book line to start, you know. Yep. Very quiet commentary from the crowd.
There's not much to say at this point.
I know. To say, you can see. Yep. Not a whole lot. Yep.
Quietly drink our coffee.
Yep. I think that we got screwed by the random. That's alright. It's very hard to, try to be unattentive right now. Oh, yeah. Start the apologies now.
Have you actually joined battle at any point yet?
No.
So the build phase?
Not even.
Explore phase?
I'm not gonna lie. I've got a good end and a not good end of the sector here, and it's been unpleasant, and that has set me back, I believe, a considerable amount, unfortunately, in terms of things. Because I can only dead end.
Yeah, your first couple moves can really determine
not even that,
how
well,
it's going to play out, just when you're going to get resources.
It's not that, it's more that I had this that has caused a trap. That is slightly problematic, because it forces you to have to do loops that you really don't want to do.
Well, what else do we have around here we can show off while we...
I don't know, if we really want to challenge, we'd make Chris wear the Hobbs helmet, too. Although it's very hard to see it. That's something. Oh, look, you've got, I believe those are as previously seen on the card.
Yes, here we've got the Wing Commander movie program from Japan. In Japan, movies always have...
I was going to say, I'll give you the... So you at least have one window to see what we're doing.
This is in Japan. Movies have colorful program books when you go to see them in the theater. So there's the one for the Wing Commander movie. This is Wing Commander Prophecy. Some of the storyboards they did for the CGI sequences. There's a hard drive I'm supposed to send to AD and keep forgetting. Here is the Wing Commander 3 PlayStation card that you would go to Toys R Us and you'd take this to the lockup to get the actual game out. They're called VidPro cards. There's a little bit of everything over here. Here's a print of the Wing Commander 1 artwork from Mike Witterbauer. Here is a PlayStation TV, one of the weirdest devices to play Wing Commander. This was sort of like a PSP. What was the sequel to the PSP?
Nobody had it.
Vita?
Vita. It was basically a Vita that you plug into your TV, and it was wildly unsuccessful. But I think it was one of those things that they got down to like $10 each, and then everybody went crazy for them, and now they're more expensive. But it's basically a Vita you plug into your television, and since it's a Vita, it can download in the U.S. Wing Commander 4 for the PlayStation, and in Europe, EA Replay, and it's just another way to play the PlayStation 4 to Wing Commander 4, basically.
Cool story.
Yeah, well, you're doing such a good job with the commentary.
Well, I'm trying not to, because my commentary is going to be me complaining about how I've just complaining, so I don't want to be the complainer.
Yeah, I've met you.
I know you have. I know you have. So I'm trying not to.
Oh, I'm not even in the frame, am I?
You're probably the edge.
In the corner.
You're in the edge. It's hard to figure out with that.
Thanks, Armada.
That's the same thing Origin said, right? Came out just the wrong time. Which is really its bane, that it missed its window only by a little bit.
Right.
Here's a PlayStation 3. This is the last model. This is the Slim. It still seems very large. You never get to see it on camera because it's over here, but there's a console tower that has all the consoles that run Wing Commander. SNES, Sega CD, so on. It's one of those IKEA cube shelves that each cube is divided in half, so it's a 4-cuber that has 8 consoles. I have here lots of ribbon for making Medals of Honor for Wing Commander 1.
That's right.
Craft project waiting the final version of Dennis's medal. Although I actually like the one he came out with. You know, you can see it's got it doesn't seem smooth, but I think that's right. It feels kind of pixelated. But he kind of disappeared from that thread. He was posting all about it, and then nothing. Hopefully that means he has a job he's working.
Yeah, could be.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what could happen. As we continue our exploration of Armada.
Oh, when you picked a medium system, didn't you?
Yep. I will say I feel that the sector was very randomly designed.
It is a randomly generated sector.
Yes. Yes. I feel interconnected. This has turned against me.
Other stuff you can't see because it's not on camera. There's a bunch of Wing Commander posters around. The theatrical posters for Prophecy and Wing Commander 4 are right in front of me. Hobbs' helmet from Wing Commander 3 is on the top of the console pile. Over there's a Wing Commander movie poster in Japanese. One of Mike Witterbauer's prints of his his Wing Commander 1 art on a canvas. There's a Wing Commander Arena art that they used at a trade show that's signed by the team. And there is a propaganda poster from the Wing Commander movie, one of the ones you see in the Tiger's Call Rec Room. It's a recruiting poster for the Marines, Confed Marines.
Where did you find the arena thing? Because that arena stuff is pretty...
We were there. You were there. It was
Did they give it to us?
Yeah, it was there on the wall, and they gave it to us.
Oh.
And we brought it to Dragon Con in a tube, and I guess I took it. Really, it's all of ours, I suppose.
It fits in here well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a nice Wing Commander hole. I've got a Confed rifle over here. It's like a heavy plasticky foam. These were designed by the same props team that then went on to work on Star Trek Voyager.
And in fact, I think you can see the resemblance with the eyepiece to the Federation phaser rifle.
I feel like this is the rare left-handed weapon. I feel.
Oh, that is a Dorchok, the Kilrathi rifle from. This is from the Wing Commander 3 intro that we saw yesterday.
It is. It's odd because it's definitely left-handed.
Well, it actually goes with Joe's head that he had.
Well,
You see those Kilrathi Marines? They have them at the Kilrathi Guards have them at their waist.
Well, they're aliens, man. Right? It does up to me. Yeah. Yeah, we got lots of guns in this room. Guns and joysticks and boxes and.
Got a stack of soundtracks down here.
Yep. Thraketh, pillow, just the normal stuff you find lying around.
Here is a heavy-duty industrial SCART switcher, which we're going to use for console mount, and so we have the best possible picture. I got into RGB outputs on consoles just before everybody else, so I managed to get some of the stuff that's stupidly expensive now for nothing.
That's good.
And we'll show how the whole system works once we have it set up again. We had it when we were in LA. We had it on this rolling cart, and it was great. You could just roll this cart from place to place, plug it into whatever HDMI input, and you got the best possible video output from all these consoles. Going from the top, we've got a PS3 for just for Wing Commander 4 for the PS3. We've got an Xbox 360 for Arena. This level is the little stuff. There's a PS TV. There is the PS TV. There's a switcher box. This is the FrameMeister. This is this will convert the SCART output into HDMI, and it's got all sorts of fancy options for retro gaming. Next shelf down is a GameCube. It's a GameCube with a Game Boy player, so we can play Wing Commander Prophecy Advance, and we can use a joystick because we have a flight stick that they did for the GameCube, so we can play Prophecy Advance with a flight stick. It's not fun at all, but it looks cool.
Would in theory be possible to create a LAN of 4 of these on 4 TVs?
Yes.
And create a multiplayer gaming console setup.
Yeah, you could play 4. Yeah, because I think you could use the link cable with
there's a link cable port on the Game Boy player.
And below that we have a PS1 for Wing Commander 3 and 4 PS1. We have a Super Nintendo for Wing Commander 1 and Secret Mission Super Nintendo. There's a Sega CDX, which is the combined Sega CD and Genesis into one little Walkman-looking unit down there at the bottom. And last but not least, an Amiga CD32, which was only test marketed in the U.S., but it is the one console that came with Wing Commander as a pack-in game. There's an updated version of the Amiga Wing Commander 1 that has 256 colors, and it's great.
It's one of you never hear anybody talk about it, but it's actually been in the news twice this month. So if you want to see Amiga CD32 in motion, check out the first half of August news.
Yeah. And you're probably wondering, where's my 3DO? Why don't I have a 3DO? That's a good question. I actually do want to get another FC10 just to make it easier to play it quickly.
The mouse is getting kind of funky for some reason.
noticed.
I alt-tabbed it, fixed it for a bit, but then it kind of came back. I don't know why. It's sometimes
Something
skips.
weird about Armada.
Yeah, well, it's like skipping a bit now, where it went from being like super sensitive to now it's jumping a little bit on the screen. But alt-tabbing it seemed to fix it.
But what I do have in a PC down here is a 3DO ISA card. It lets you play 3DO games on your PC in Windows 3. And other than the French release of 3DO that gives you RGB video, that is the best way to get the pixel perfect output from a 3DO. And I realize most people don't care about that at all, especially now that there's emulators. I use emulators most of the time too, but it's great to have the original hardware. So we have an actual ISA card that plays 3DO games. You have to have a particular 2x CD-ROM to work with it. It's
that's weird.
Yeah, it's got a it's got a controller card for the particular CD-ROM that reads 3DO discs, and it connects internally. Those are stupid rare now. Unfortunately, they're one of those things that, like, at the end of the life cycle of the 3DO, if you'd gone to like Egghead or something, they would have been $50, and now it's thousands of dollars on Japanese Yahoo auctions to get one. So the next time you see a pile of crap no one wants, keep it for 30 years.
That sounds like some interesting advice.
Any updated commentary, Ace, on the progress of the war?
I think it's pretty obvious how this
So
conflict
far
is going to
it's
happen. Yeah. I think it's fair to say that I see where this is going. I've unfortunately explored a lot of planets. But, oh, son of a beach, I see. But, they have not been useful. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, so that's what it's done. Interesting. This is a very interesting sector.
It is.
It really
is. For a random generation, it's interesting. It's like somebody did some quirky stuff to it.
It is very, yeah.
Here's another favorite.
This is definitely a
PlayStation Portable. This is the 3000 model for running EA Replay, and Wing Commander 4 can play on this. Just the idea of having Wing Commander 4 in your pocket, very large pocket, I guess. Seems small once. It's pretty great. Does it have any power? No. Needs to be charged.
Yeah, PlayStation Portable was pretty crazy. It had a very high resolution screen originally.
You know, they knew they couldn't defeat Nintendo doing the same thing as the DS, so they went for like this kind of luxury feel and sense to it, and it played movies, and it was kind of a mini PS3 at the time, and it was very impressive. And it had that Sony level of awkwardness that you didn't quite want to actually do anything with it, but it seemed ahead of its time. Was that 06 or 07 when that came out?
It was, the very first one was probably about 04, 05 for the bigger chunkier one.
Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of EA Replay. When was that?
Oh yeah, I think that was 07 because or the November preceding 06, because when we were in Vancouver together, we did a bit of we found them in the store.
That's right. It came out just before Arena, or while Arena was in development. No, I remember that Dragon Con that year. I guess it was Dragon Con 06. We all went out to a GameStop in the suburbs, and I bought a PSP. Despite the fact that I was still a college student and had no money, I'm probably still paying off that PSP on a credit card. But it seemed really exciting at the time, and I think I bought the Tomb Raider game for it, Anniversary or whichever one was out then. It just seemed so. It seemed like so much more than the Game Boy Advanced, or the DS, I guess was at the time. But it seemed like a lot more impressive than Nintendogs. And remember, what were the mini discs called? The
UMDs.
UMD movies. There was a period in the early 2000s where there would be a separate section at video stores and GameStops and so on with UMD movies, and it was this ridiculous little selection of hip for gamer movies and TV episodes on tiny discs, and that faded away. In fact, I guarantee you 10 years UMDs are going to be like something funny someone finds in a YouTube video. Look at this crazy thing, like CEDs. Anybody remember CEDs?
No.
CEDs were a vinyl movie disc in the early 80s from Selectavision. And
Yep.
it basically it was like a record in this cartridge, and it played a movie.
Okay.
And the only reason you ever hear about them today is like the Star Wars movies on them are collectible. But much like how Wing Commander has this great community of connoisseurs, if you look up CEDs online, there's this incredible, passionate, insane group of CED owners who are still nuts about it, and they have figured out how to repair their CED, because like a record, you have to replace a cylinder after some point, and of course they don't manufacture them anymore, so they track down dead stock, and they figure out, you can replace the needle with this, and it's a very impressive old school internet community. It's all about CEDs, but again, the rest of the world completely forgot about it, and just like UMDs. I think I have a couple of UMD movies lying around here.
I think I do too. Yeah, I had that original, obviously that original PSP, so I could play EA Replay.
Yeah, I had the original PSP too, and I swapped it for a 3000 at some point because it has video out. I think. I think I have Starship Troopers and Dune. One of the things that was nice about the PSP was there was no regional lockout at all.
Yeah.
So you could buy titles from anywhere in the world, and they would just work on your PSP. That was a nice jab at Nintendo. It didn't work, but it was a nice jab at Nintendo. So sometimes movies, like I think Dune only came out in the UK, and I collect Dune stuff in my background, so that was a fun one that I still have. But I remember thinking it was really neat at the time because you could go, if you're flying internationally, you're at Heathrow or something, there would be like a kiosk of PSP movies you could buy for your flight. This was before streaming video was everywhere, and it just seemed like a neat, not quite right hint at what was about to happen in the future.
I worked at GameStop when the original PSP came out, and it had that high resolution screen, and oh man, people there was initial the early days of liquid crystal display portable manufacturing, and there were occasionally little stuck pixels.
I remember reading about that and just getting anxiety in my stomach. God, I don't want a stuck pixel one.
And so every single person in the world that bought a PSP and had out of the 800 by 480 screen had 1 or 2 pixels that were off white or something. Came back and complained to me. So I got to see what that was like.
There were 3 models of PSP: the original, the 2000, and the 3000. I think the 2000 was so short-lived. The 3000 is much lighter than the original. It's got a slightly smaller form factor. There's plastic rather than metal. It holds up pretty well. I think the video is slightly nicer. The screen is slightly nicer. And then the follow-up to the PSP was the even less successful PSP Vita, which technically maybe Sony still supports, but it has no physical media slot, which it was exactly the time when everybody was not willing to accept that yet. So there was all sorts of, I don't want to do this if I can't own the games. But of course, that's how everything works now. Anyway, it only plays download games, and Sony stupidly didn't really support that effort very well. So it would have made sense if you had some sort of iTunes style thing where, if I have this game, I can download it. Or even just if they offer the entire library from the PSP, because it would run everything. But it's messed up over every different region. So if you have a European Sony account or PlayStation account, you can get EA Replay with Wing Commander. But you can't do that anywhere else. And you need an American one to get Wing Commander 4. So it's stupid. You guys engaged in combat yet?
I think only once.
We traded Aerodrothy battle.
Yeah, I saw that one. I will say, when we see the full sector map, this is going to be very strange, since it appears there is only one single line that connects the two ends. Yeah.
There appear to be 2 lobes to this sector. Yes.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's just like two groups of grapes hanging down or something.
Well, it sounds like
It
some
sounds
genius
edible.
had better take that center system, build a heavy fighter fortress, and
Yeah.
move all their forces right there.
Right? Yeah, I know. I wish I had better actual lines.
It's the Rock of Gibraltar of the made-up sector.
That's right. The truck of the Pacific. Or that is that. Okay, good. I always am fearful of forgetting to move something, and not moving somebody once in this is just so killer. Even though I ain't got shit going
Well,
on
again,
here.
plug our Thursday show. We're going to have book club, and everybody out there should join the book club. It is so much fun. We just put way too much thought into tiny portions of Wing Commander novels and read them together and have fun slowly. It's a great time, and you should do it with us. And I know if you're somewhere out there who isn't part of our close friend group, you're like, I'm scared of hanging out with weirdos. You are welcome. We would love to talk Wing Commander with you. And nothing it's never you're wrong, you're an idiot. It's all, that's a really interesting way to see that. So come join us for book club this week, Thursday at 7. And we'll talk about the first 4 chapters of the Wing Commander 3 novelization. You should come.
Absolutely.
We have audio in, and we just go around the table and we talk about all sorts of tiny details, stuff that we would never have noticed otherwise. And this is going to be interesting because this is the first time we have a book with a different co-author. We did Endron and we did Fleet Action, and now we're moving on to Heart of the Tiger. We're going to read it and play the game. So we compare the two, but we're going to learn about how novels are adapted. We're going to talk about Andrew Keith's authorial voice versus Bill Forstchen. How because one of the giant dumb arguments we used to have as kids was, why is this different from the game? And there are good answers to that. There are narrative answers to that. There are commercial answers to that. In these first 4 chapters, why does Blair lose the first 4 missions when that's a training mission in the game and it's so easy? This is so stupid. Well, you're telling a story, a different kind of story. We're going to go into all that. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. There'll be Mantu.
The Mantu are briefly referenced.
We get a touch of Mantu, which everybody loves the Mantu.
Yeah, we get to see, and even more important than that, and connected to that, is we get to see how they make the transition. We're going to see the great transition from Wing Commander 2 to Wing Commander 3. That's quite a shift, and we see how the novel is really the only place that gets to address that directly, and it's in drips and drabs, and we're going to soak them all up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does add it to things. I like how, it starts off by also bridging us to the previous novel by saying, well, there should be some type of bloodletting to transition us from...
No, everything's fine now, and no one mentioned it again.
You just lost all that stuff. Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the problem with novelizations. And you see it in, Star Trek books. Your average Star Trek book, it can't impact the wider story. You can't, Captain Picard can't find his long-lost son. You can't start a war with the Romulans. It can't be the story where Kirk and Picard meet in a time shift or whatever. Otherwise, everybody's going to be asking,
why
didn't that get mentioned again in the show? Yeah. So you're either stuck telling very small stories, or you're stuck with coming up with excuses for telling a big story that doesn't count. And it's going to be interesting to see how Wing Commander handles that. I remember the Star Trek DC comics in the 1980s. If anyone ever wants to be a student of the media tie-in, read the first run of DC Star Trek comics because they're incredible. They weaved in between the movies as they were coming out in the 80s between Star Trek 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, I forget which. But comic books weren't really allowed to tell little stories. To sell a comic book had to tell a big story. So they would sequelize the movies in crazy, ridiculous ways, and then have some comic book logic at the end that would switch back to the next one. So, after Star Trek 3, where, they've saved Spock, but it ends on Vulcan, and then the comics have them go back to Earth, and there's a new Enterprise, and the new Enterprise gets blown up, and Kirk gets made captain of the Excelsior, and they start a war with the Romulans because there's this evil virus that's destroying worlds, and Spock gets his own science ship, and he's fine now that he's back alive, and it just goes on for 20 issues, and then they get to the point where like, oh, Star Trek 4 is about to come out, and they're still on Vulcan with the captured Romulan bird of prey. So they have this couple issue arc where it's like, oh, by the way, we've been carrying the bird of prey in the Excelsior the whole time, and now we're going to escape from some problem with it and go back to Vulcan. So they weave it all into the continuity, but it's utterly ridiculous. It's
That is
wonderful.
That's insane. That's
Hello.
very insane.
Hello. I'm just taking a picture of you guys.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just wildly emote so it seems like I'm...
Wow.
That's big.
Yeah. Just working towards a big climax here.
I know I say this every year, but it's not television, it's compellivision.
You don't say that. You say that every time. Yeah. It typically is always compelling in some way. Not always in the way you think, though.
You know what? Everybody always makes fun of watching people play games. Who wants to do that? These kids today, they want to watch Twitch all day. I remember going to my friend's house and like, I'm going to play through Jurassic Park on the Super Nintendo. Like, cool! I'm going to watch that. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Kinda. This is like the sort of discussion we had earlier.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, more describing things you can't see. Over there on the other side of the desk, this is like an L-shaped desk, and it has terrible scars in it because it was cut up in our moving. But it's
fine.
This is my version. This is like the future Bens will take this desk in their Oval Office. It's the war-torn one that was there during the War of 1812 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we've got a Macintosh, a Power Mac 7300, an Amiga 4000. There's a 486 desktop, a Gateway desktop, and then over in the corner there is a PC 9821 and an FM Towns desktop, desktop, and those are all piled up waiting to get set up into some terrible Frankenstein KVM monstrosity.
So what's the 3DO Game Guru? Is that a cheater or is that an emulator?
That is a cheat program. Folks have probably seen on the show lately, I've been doing the Game Genie and collecting all the bits that mention Wing Commander. That is the equivalent for the 3DO, and it has a couple cheats for Wing Commander 3. So I've been having a great time learning about Game Genies and the Game Sharks and all the modern stuff. In fact, I just saw that people online have codes for Prophecy Advance for the Game Boy Advance version of this stuff, so I gotta look into that.
It's called the Action Replay?
What's that?
Is it the Action Replay?
Yeah, I think it's Action Replay. Or is it Game Shark? Or those may be the same thing.
Game Shark and Action Replay were the two that were common at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, for that Easter egg yesterday that Music Girl found, he could put some code into the thing, or you mentioned there's a second controller, or he concocted a Game Genie code that launches you right into that series with the special credits. So that's pretty neat.
Maybe once a Game Genie, I got like 5 of them in the course of trying to get all the different manuals that mention Wing Commander. There's a stack of Game Genies around somewhere.
I remember being just like, it blew my mind so much when it was announced, and I wanted it for Christmas because I thought like you could give Mario like a machine gun and
Not that type of genie.
yeah, like you could do anything.
Not that type of genie.
Although one thing I've learned since getting giant stack of Game Genies and manuals is that they don't work especially well with the SNES 3. For whatever reason, you can only put 2 codes in at once instead of 6 or something. And I have a 3 because that's the best graphics output. So I haven't been able to physically use the Game Genie yet. I have to pick up an older SNES. Everybody call it... You say SNES or SNES?
SNES.
SNES.
Okay. Good.
SNES sounds weird.
Whenever I run into a SNES person, I'm like, what happened?
You're not okay. You're not to be trusted. That's what that tells you right off the bat.
I mean, you can't be too critical, Goog. But
An ad.
ad, yeah.
We're all allowed our intricacies.
Word. Could this be it? I see an enemy carrier next to your carrier.
Yeah, we're getting towards that moment. We've both arrived at the center of the grapevine.
17.
You just gotta hope he doesn't have any chalky.
No.
That was a callback.
Thank you.
We in the biz. I haven't even asked which of you is Kilrathi and which is.
I am
Oh,
Kilrathi.
you're Kilrathi, okay.
I fight for the Empire.
So shouldn't you be wearing the mask? Or?
No, that's not the right mask. We talked about this. I've done my part.
Worst thing is trying to figure out how to store wired controllers
Yeah.
for 8 consoles at once. Actually, I think storing flight sticks is worse. Cause
Yeah, they're not exactly.
it's not a good way to keep them.
They're just not form fitted well, except to take up massive amounts of desk space.
Like you can kind of like tooth them in and out if you wanted, but it's
Then
not.
then you bend them though. Then the springs get
like a
warped.
shelf or a rack.
Yeah.
Just big enough so that you're not wasting
Like a shoe
space.
rack or something weird.
Yeah.
Like something where you could have them kind of in like that. Yeah.
I mean, someday we're gonna need to double the size of the Wing Commander ROM and just have all the joysticks lined up.
The addition for the All Wings Considered Studio is in the process.
Actually, my fantasy, if I ever become rich and have a fancy house, has always been to set up Armada pods,
Mm-hmm.
where
There you
each
go.
one would have, a 4666 with an F-22 joystick, a TQS throttle, and a Roland SC-55 MIDI, and a set of nice headsets. And you just have them all set up for a six-player IPX proving grounds. I would love that. Someday. And of course, you want to go to the next step. You make them all into little cockpit-like things that you have to get into. And that's the dream. Please give me millions of dollars. But I feel like that's a pretty simple dream as far as such things go. I mean, you see so many people are like, when I'm a billionaire, I'm going to have a sex island and murder people. Like, I'm not going to have a sex island. I'm not going to murder people. I'm going to play a video game from 1994.
Listen, if you're rich, you can have all three. I don't think you should sell yourself just on this one focus of a dream. You should be open and willing. Maybe you could have.
Hey, if a sex island falls into my lap, I will happily set up Wing Commander Armada on it.
That's right. Everybody gets a corner, I feel like it's the rich person thing to do, so.
Actually, my aunt and uncle had a sex island at one point.
Well, that's a weird segue.
No, do you remember right when reality...
Why are you leaning in so much all of a sudden?
Remember when reality shows were just coming into their own, and there was like one of the first like scandalous ones was like Temptation Island or something on Fox, where a bunch of sexy singles go to an island to bang until one of them wins somehow. The house that they did that in was rented from my aunt and uncle, who had built it as their they're crazy rich people, and they had built it as their retirement home on some island in the wherever. And then they rented it to a production company, and afterwards they never wanted to use it again, and they
Well, I can
sold it.
burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of Clorox. That's a lot of Clorox.
We have here the packaging for a Star Wars Episode 1 battle bag, which Allie and I opened on a fun stream a while ago. There were some ridiculous products for Episode 1. What are the odds now?
Nobody's betted recently.
I like how you have like a side thing going on. He's like running a side website, just like taking in bets. Well, the odds have actually kind of moved. Vegas just pushed the numbers. You know? You do have a problem, I guess. I thought you were just coaching in a joke.
By the way, after this, we go back on the stream and see who is cheating and who isn't.
I have not. I've been trying to not look.
No, I know you're an honorable man.
Yeah. You, I know, you're a dirty cheater, so I already know that. Just make sure
Hey, if I was a dirty cheater, we would have won Special Operations 1 a lot
That's
sooner.
true. That is very true. That was... There were a few things that were as great a release as just having that finally be over and done with. And especially in the way in which it happened.
Until next time.
Yeah.
It looks like the betting has increased for Chris to win.
Okay.
You never know how these things can play out. You never know. So we're just waiting for the big moment, which will then be delivered to us by text. On those great battle screens.
If you're interested in the environment here at the stream, it's hot. It's getting warm in here. You don't have the fan from last night.
Yeah. Yes, which Joe was at once. Actually, at one point, Joe got up and I'm like, "Wow, it's so nice," and it was. I didn't realize he was sitting. In front
It's
of
so
the-
nice. He's gone.
It's not just because you're gone. It's because there's a fan directly behind you.
Yeah, he was very comfortable last night.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing that we've been having that corner blocked off over there for so long and forgetting like that's where the vent is, and it's like we remember that. Oh. I should have done that too. Now that I think about it.
I think it'd be fun to set up a steel battalion pod like you mentioned too. That would be one of the.
I always figured I would have 6 Armada setups, and then I would get 4 Game Boy Advances with fancy screens for that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's really all you need, I guess.
I actually have 3 Steel Battalion controllers, but only
Does it still work at all? Could you log in and play? Or?
you can do. There's a single player game you can play,
Mhm.
and then there's a LAN play game. You can actually play 10-player LAN. But you need the original Xbox, which I guess they're probably not that hard.
No, I bet those are pretty affordable still. Although they are probably one you might want to stock up on now, like those 3DO things, because in 10 or 20 years, it's going to be, did you know there was actually an Xbox before the Xbox 360? It's this weird thing. And then there'll be a craze for it. It's definitely the, what was the thing that Sega did before the Genesis? Master System?
Yeah.
It's the Master System of 7th generation consoles. 6th generation? I don't know the generations.
Just the next. Just the next.
I'm going to step out for just another thing I'd like to extract from and put if somebody out there has access to the show notes, put this in there, is the textures for the planets in Armada.
I believe Mike is there. So.
Like that would be a really cool one to extract and figure out because like the planet graphics always impressed me.
Just extract it all.
Yeah, we could have a little map of each of these planets. It'd be great.
Yeah. We can go there. We could visit. You know, whatever the strange names they sometimes have.
Yeah, there's something beautiful about lore. Not Star Trek's lore.
I was gonna say, did anybody say that at the time?
No, it's just like the more lore you can create out of the stuff you have that you didn't realize. Like, here's what the map of this planet is like. You know, here's the surface of this.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being so excited, and we're spoiled today because everything has a million digital tie-ins and books and everything. But I mean, remember back in the day, the first time you found like a Star Trek technical manual or the Dune Encyclopedia. What a treasure that was! Still one of the greatest books ever written. Dune Encyclopedia by Willis McNally covers the first 4 Dune books, and it's written in in-universe perspective, as though by like an archaeologist who has discovered all this stuff in the wreckage of the God Emperor's palace. And he was a super academic, and it is written like 1970s academic stuff. It's fantastic. Look it up. Find it somewhere. I know the people who own Dune now don't like to acknowledge it exists, but it's great. It's got sketches like they look like they're right out of claw marks. But like I remember loving to death my copy of Mr. Scott's Guide to the Enterprise. And now I go on the internet and I look it up and there's like all these angry people who are like, this disregards the continuity of movies that came out later. We hate this book. But I love that stuff. Did you ever see they did these similar books for the first Star Trek movie in 1979, and there's one that's called the Spaceflight Chronology, and it is a history of the future from based in space missions, and it starts with the real one, you know, Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, Soyuz, etc., and then it walks you all the way through to Star Trek the Motion Picture. So it's future history of space exploration, expansion. Does not match anything we think about Star Trek today. It's the years are different, the events are different. It's based entirely on that scene in the motion picture where they you see the older Enterprises in the rec room wall, and one of them is like this ring ship, and one is a sailing ship, and so on. And people today, you know, that's so stupid. It somehow didn't predict the future. But I loved going back and capturing those little moments of time in franchises where, you know, yes, this would be different later, but at this moment it was everything.
Interesting. That's weird. I can't do
that. One thing we have up there is a VFX1, I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but there's a VFX1 VR helmet. VR became big again a couple of years ago with the Oculus Rift or whatnot, and I think everybody really in there was like, this is nothing new, this is cyclical. There are huge problems with making this a viable thing for consumers, but the technology it exists over and over and goes away because they can't sell it. But back in 1995, that's the 1995 VR helmet. It actually supports Wing Commander 2, 3, 4. Not well. It does support a couple Origin games really well. System Shock and Wings of Glory are both fantastic with the helmet because they have head tracking. And they work as well as anything today. And in 20 or 25 years, when we're trying to push VR again, we'll look at these Oculus and think, can you believe they tried to make this?
Yeah, VR is like Fusion, I feel like. It's one of those things that we're almost there, but no.
It's like 3D movies. Every generation or so, they try to push 3D in movies. And, they did it in the 50s and the 70s, and just recently. And the technology works fine, but it's just a little bit. It's not quite there to the point that consumers adopt it for everything.
It's not enjoyable, really.
Yeah.
If anything, you feel like you're like. I remember when I first saw Last Jedi in. No, I saw Force Awakens in 3D, and I remember thinking I feel like I'm missing things because of the 3D.
Yeah, it feels totally unnecessary. And
yeah.
It is probably possible for someone to take that 3D, and it has happened already, take that 3D movie technology and make an incredible movie intended for 3D. But in order to make that commercially viable, you have to have this entire world of 3D movies that aren't that. And since you don't have that, consumers turn against it. The same as we were talking about yesterday with full motion video. Up until recent years, we've totally scoffed at the idea of celebrities in games, literally filming them. This was some stupid aside we had in the 90s that we can't believe we did that. And it was great. It's just that the market moved it in a way that didn't work. But there's nothing wrong with Wing Commander 3 and 4. They did it right. And Privateer 2.
Which has got a lot of spaceships. I almost forgot for a second, not gonna lie. Despite how that should almost be impossible, one would imagine, but it's somehow not. Somehow, what's that one? Oh, I see what's transpired here. You're going that way, right? Good. Getting near that magic time.
Heard that before.
Well, let's, make good guesses. Sometimes combat just, happens. You never can quite be sure.
By the way, if you are someone who happens to love just the strategy part of Armada and not the...
This is the show for you right now.
Well,
you can see I'm doing it badly, and Chris is doing a much more integrated infrastructure.
There is a game I would recommend as the spiritual successor to this game mode, which is called Star Trek Conquest, I believe. It was on the Wii and possibly the PlayStation 2. It was that period where it was Bethesda. They had the Star Trek license, and they did a big title for the 360. Do you remember the 360 Star Trek game's name?
No.
But it was a bigger deal Star Trek game. It had fancy voiceovers and 3D combat, and it was it's very hard to make a Star Trek game. But as Star Trek games go, it was fine. And their budget title to go for other platforms like the Wii was this, I think it was called Star Trek Conquest, and it was essentially just this mode but Star Trek. And it was really fun, especially with the Wii controller worked well with plotting your strategy. It's definitely a shame we never got like a Command & Conquer RTS with the Wii. That would have worked well. You could group your units, and I don't know. But the problem everybody always runs into in making a Star Trek game is you're never making a game of Star Trek. You're making simplifying Star Trek to some existing game type that's easy to do, and it follows more of this fanboy, I like when spaceships fight sense. You know, the one great Star Trek game is 25th Anniversary, which is an adventure game where you play as an away team, and that's great. It let them tell interesting stories that were Star Trek stories, but so many attempts are just, let's have space battles, but with the Enterprise, or what if Wing Commander, but Star Trek had fighters, and it's never the heart of the IP.
The Heart of the Tiger.
Yeah. Give me a favorite non-Wing Commander game you played in the 90s.
Star Trek.
Oh,
Final Unity was really good, and
Oh, that was the one.
I mentioned last night this 4X Windows 3.1 game called Stars.
Ace?
I liked the Command and Conquer sort of Dune 2 thing.
Mhm.
That was a huge draw for me. Master of Orion, that kind of stuff. That was great.
I never played Master of Orion.
I love Master of Orion. That was. It was a little bit Wing Commander for me in that sense too, because it's cool because you design your own spaceships and put guns on them, so that was always fun. They had some cat race in there, so it was easy to.
Did do a lot of Command and Conquer. Like Ace and I started with Red Alert in 1996.
Yeah,
playing the hell out of Command and Conquer.
Yep.
I got into Dune, the book, when I was in 6th grade. I lived in France, and my mom got me for Christmas the Book of Dune at the English bookstore, and like anything in English was amazing to us. This was before the world had taken over and everything is everywhere. So I was super into the book, and then one of my friends at school gave me a pirated copy of Dune 2 when that came out, and I was so into that, I brought it home the next year and got everybody in my middle school obsessed with Dune 2. Not Dune as a concept, but Dune as this military rocket launchers and tanks game. To the point that I remember one day the big cool quarterbacky jock guy calling me at home, and I was like, what is happening? What this guy is in a totally separate sphere from me. And he was like, yeah, I was playing a copy of Dune 2, and how do you get to the tanks? Weird. So it really, there's some weird, if you could measure the popularity of Westwood's Dune 2, there's a strange spike at Farquhar Middle School in Sandy Spring, Maryland in 1992. But
it was an accessible game though too. It did a good job of progressing you through the various stages. I don't know, it was.
But then, of course, they came out with much better games. Command and Conquer, which made much more sense with the setting, and the Warcraft games. And I remember waiting to get into any of those because I thought I want to play Dune games. I don't want to play some dumb thing they came up with to replace it. But Command and Conquer was one of those games that was so good that when you finally went to your friend's house and he had it up, you fell in love immediately. It was so fun and so something new. The grouping units, the little towns on the maps. There were just so many little bits that drew you into it. And then Red Alert was so much fun. We all were crazy about that in IRC. I'm sure we would be like classified as like. I'm sure today it would be like some like pro-communism whatever, and it was part of this dumb culture war that's going. But back then it was just really, really fun, and it had this atmosphere around it that really drew you in.
Yeah, it's just goofy and different enough, but not too much. So, like, the world, you can believe it is somewhat plausible, where then by Red Alert 2, it's completely ridiculous, but it's still a lot of fun.
Red Alert 2 is perfect pulp fun. You know, it's over the top, but it knows it.
Yeah.
And, you know, when they came back years later to do 3, that was such a shame, because they no longer...
They didn't have
They
that,
knew to be over the top, but they didn't know to be consciously over the top. So it's just like... Hey, girls with boobs and tanks and things! Hooray! They're shaking it! This isn't Red Alert. Red Alert is they're telling a pulpy story about Einstein going back in time and killing Hitler, and they know it's ridiculous, but they revel in it.
Yeah, they own it as opposed to trying to blend it in.
Yeah.
Red Alert 2 was the one that had the World Trade Center with an airplane going towards it and an explosion in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
And so in 2001, there was obviously September, there was an emergency recall on it, and we got a note at GameStop, where I worked at the time, that we had to go, like, take all the copies of Red Alert 2 and put them in the back.
There was so much of that dumb nonsense.
Yes. Yeah, and then what happened was this stream of people kept coming in and asking for Red Alert. And there was some other managers there at the time like, no, we can't sell that. That's a blah, blah. And then when I came on duty, I was like, I mean, we're only just trying to not offend the random people that walk in the store.
Yeah, to see the
like there's nothing against like making money off this stuff, and so I sold every freaking copy we had from under the counter. And I'm sure those people were very happy that they got their banned game.
Yeah, there was like a Spider-Man trailer where he was climbing the World Trade Center for that first Spider-Man movie, and that had to be pulled out of theaters. Little did we know that was going to totally change how people watch movies. In fact, probably have a much more disastrous effect on the world than the September 11th events actually did. But who knows? Yeah, and when you're growing up and your parents are telling you about, back in my day, we had bomb drills and we would hide under the desks, and you would think to yourself immediately, that's so crazy. We don't have anything like that today. Now is just normal. And now we can look back and see all this ridiculous stuff we went through. We're building our past in our present, I guess. Hopefully our kids will be more normal. But no, they have like shooting drills and all that. And they'll be telling their kids that.
I remember when I started teaching the first time they had that, like an active shooter drill, and they sent out a billion things being like, we're actually going to have people running down the hallways with like plastic guns, but we're going to play gunfire over the PA system. Now, mind you,
that seems like somebody having fun, like LARPing.
This one gets even worse. But they did this like during night classes as like a dry run for an actual test. So it's like people are doing like, because it's final exams. So like people are trying to do their finals. All of a sudden, you hear people running and screaming down the hallway. The speakers blaring random and it's just like. It's to the point where you have, like, a bunch of us were just walking the hallway like, are you guys serious right now? Like, are you really serious? Like, I get what you're trying to do. Like, I see that you want to prepare, but, like, do this on a Sunday.
You know what I lived through that was really weird was the DC Sniper in 2001 or 2002.
Yep.
I was living in DC. I was working at a community college at the time, and it was really crazy. The whole world shut down for, it felt like months. It was probably like 2 weeks or something. But nobody would leave their house or go outside. And, but I, being an idiotic 20-something, thought that was wonderful. And there's nobody at the mall. And my brother and I go see movies, and there's nobody there. That's one that, now that I think about trying to describe it to anybody, hey, remember that time when we were kids and the entire region was held up for weeks by a sniper no one could identify? And
I feel like that was like a guy. Was that like a month? I feel like it was
a while.
It was definitely like a long time. Yeah.
That doesn't seem real.
That doesn't seem right today at all.
And I remember one of the first things they decided was, we think it might be a white box truck.
That's right, dirty box trucks.
And until you're being told to be afraid of white box trucks, you don't realize how many there are out there.
That almost every box truck is white? It's a dirty white one? Oh, that adds even more. Because nobody washes those.
And of course it wasn't a box truck.
Yeah, no, it was that sketchy car with the license plate thing or whatever, yeah.
It was the car with the gun sticking out of it.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because that's right when I was...
Yeah, that was right when we started college, I feel like.
Yeah, that was around the start of college.
I feel like that was in Ohio.
I went to University of Texas to start in 2000, but then I had eye problems. I had to come home, have surgery for a couple of years. So I was here just working to keep my insurance, and I was taking night classes at the community college because they were free. I worked at the college. And
there you go.
when you worked at the college, you could take any class for free. And I didn't want an associate's degree, but I figured, I can do some interesting stuff. I did astronomy and geology and art history and stuff. It was neat.
Yeah.
And also, there were a couple crazy people sniping people.
Yeah.
That must be what it's like to live in a GTA map as an NPC. But they never seem to have anxiety. They just go about their lives.
Go about their lives looking for the next hooker.
Till my wife accidentally runs them over.
Well, you never know how life comes at you. Comes pretty fast, man. Comes pretty fast.
Okay, when are we going to get to the fireworks factory?
I don't know. I mean, imagine from my feeling of this, I'm operating more on the Imperial Japan budget of flow here in terms of resources and things like that. Whereas I believe Mr. Reed has a
It's gonna be
significant
pretty soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be a significant amount of things. The problem is, I sense a slight chance of a initial hey, just like Imperial Japan, and then a slow crushing rollback, just like Imperial Japan.
Yeah, I think the outcome's been decided.
I think unfortunately, I really think so as well, just because, everyone at home can see the ridiculous chunk that I've been given, which is a string.
Well, you still have to believe in what the kids today call RNG Jesus, the random number generated.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Maybe the odds will somehow be in your favor.
I'm not a cute 20-something blonde, though, fighting for my sister.
I guarantee you the cute 20-something blondes are not the ones talking about randomly generated numbers.
You never know, man. You never know. All right? Sometimes you just got to hold out hope. You never, ever know.
Yes, the comment like, man, I'm single, but I wish I could meet a girl who knows math.
Yeah. At one point, I had that kind of, sure. I needed help with numbers. But yes, I do believe that the come on. The outcome is somewhat of a foregone conclusion, yes.
Well, fight against the dog in the light.
Yeah. I just saw that part of Interstellar yesterday, actually.
No, it's the time between time, where love exists.
And the ability to knock books off shelves.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that movie, actually. It's
No,
easy
it's
to
good.
make fun of that, but I do enjoy that movie.
Yeah, no, I like the way they take it.
Mm.
It is a bit long, though. If I have any complaint, it is a bit long.
I think the big problem is they kind of luxuriate in the start, showing us how bad the world is, and you didn't have to do that. You could have gone right into the story.
Yeah, but you don't even show how much. It's just them driving around through cornfields.
Yeah,
it's not like.
And the drone, we have to salvage something from this drone that crashed. And it's all really interesting, like vignettes.
But it doesn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't help you. Because you forget about it by the end. You don't care. You just think Matt Damon.
Yeah, if we got into it saying, "Hey, your dad's an astronaut, and he's going to go on this mission,"
Yeah.
and you're going to miss him.
And yeah,
Would work too.
Oh yeah. By the way, it's kind of crappy outside. Yeah, it would have been fine. I agree.
Seen any good movies this year?
Very behind on movies.
Yeah. No, there's one that I told you about that you're gonna make the same joke you always do about it, but that's because Showtime butchers things into the ground.
Oh, that's okay.
No, I saw Molly's Game actually is back on. I was furious. I'm like, how is this possible? It's been like 3 years, which is a decent movie or whatever. But no, there's one that I feel like I remember when it came out that I was like this looks weird. Why would I ever care about this? But it's the Jake Gyllenhaal one where he's the Nightcrawler in LA, like going around recording like accidents and stabbings and things, which seems weird, but it actually is like really good. And it has the shuttle pilot from Rogue One. He's in it, and it's just like it's them and like Bill Paxton, and it's kind of this crazy weird story where the reason I mention it is like it's the last movie when I was watching it where like, you know, I like my heart was climbing when I'm like, oh my god, what is it? Like, no, this dude's not gonna do that. Like, oh, okay then. Like, whoa. But yeah, Nightcrawler, not the action hero.
Yeah.
It's got like a weird poster that I think that's what turned me off, because I'm like, what the hell is this? Because you don't get the impression of what it actually is. And then I watched it and I'm like, this is 100% different than I ever thought it was going to be.
Last thing I saw in theaters, I guess I saw the new Quentin Tarantino, the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think most people love early Quentin Tarantino and kind of get fed up with him by the end, but I'm kind of the opposite. I like his newer movies, and I never got into like Pulp Fiction.
I mean, I like Pulp Fiction, but there's a certain point where I'm like, I don't need to see. It's like one of those movies that you don't need to see all the time.
One thing that's amazing about if you watch Pulp Fiction again, it feels so old. The stuff that just seemed cutting edge at the time, and even if you didn't like it, it felt like it was something different and crazy. It just seems small now.
Actually, it's a bad idea.
Just piling up more gunpowder and hay at the fireworks factory.
When are we gonna get to the fireworks factory?
Oh,
Wow.
that was an ass kicking.
Wow.
That was I did not expect that, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Now you believe in RNG, Jesus.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say 2 Gorons against 4 Banshees, and 1 Goron down and 4 Banshees cleared out. I'd say so.
Mm-hmm.
Surprising.
That's one of those engagements that would be described in Victory Streak, and we'd be like, huh, this is weird. The time of Straka shot down 4 Hellcats.
Yep. Oh yeah, we'll talk about the great buildup of the Sorthak. She is a great ship, but not as great.
It's a super heavy fighter.
That's interesting because there's that like intel report in Victory Streak that says, oh, the Sorthak is out there. It's so great. It killed 18 fighters at once, and
Yeah. I did that on Tuesday.
and that's it. There's just a point in the game where you start fighting them much later, but you never see a character's reaction to it. It's not part of the story.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an after the fact, sort of a mini retcon.
And they're not even.
They're not amazingly tough.
Or not even just memorable either.
Yeah.
I feel like I can remember one scramble mission where you have to face them like an arrow or something, and that's why they become a challenge.
If anything, I think that they're too small. You expect it to be bigger, and the model is unusually small.
Yeah, because it's almost like a mini Corvette.
But not as tough as a Corvette.
Yeah, it just has those 4 Meson blasters and a turret, which are a real pain, but it's still not. It's not as terrible as it could be.
By the way, kudos for pronouncing Meson correctly.
You like that?
I say Messon, and I'm totally wrong, and I know I'm wrong, but it's still how it says in my head.
Well, sometimes you say ad, sometimes you say Meson,
Doesn't mean that everything has to work right. Right? This is a bad sign. He's burning through his turns here.
I was not expecting to lose 4
I
Banshees on the front line.
Did not.
What?
Yeah. Oh, that's the same one again. That's the
No.
same.
Oh.
No, it's same Kathos. Same Kathos. Same Kathos.
I was
Because
like,
we both
what
get.
the hell?
Yeah, no, we both get the report. I noticed that they send them afterwards. Yeah. Yeah. That's not. Yeah, it's definitely.
Wouldn't have been insurmountable, but it would have been quite a blow.
Not. Yeah.
First 4 Banshees, not a big deal.
Yeah. I'm.
Or more. My reserve with Banshees. Holy cow.
Yep.
Step back for just a moment. Get some fresh air.
What are you trying to say? You guys stink in here. I feel at this point there's also really not much of a reason to, cheating's not really a thing since we all know where this is going down on this one stem because there's which is really kind of crappy that it doesn't have the way it builds the sectors, it doesn't think to have more, guarantee more than one connection between the two sides or more than one line. It's given us just one, which is really crappy. Okay. No, I want to cancel it. No, it doesn't. It's fine. I'll leave that like that. That like that. Okay, that's everybody, I think, right? Except this one, right? Yep. All right. See what's going on in here. Pulp Fiction. Oh, it's my. Come from. Yeah. Never got into Mech Warrior, although played a lot of Star Siege for the Earth Siege once.
I did play a little bit. There was a Mech Warrior Mercenaries that was a little bit of a privateer style game that was pretty good.
I liked the Star Siege is great because you get dueling Mark Hamills because he plays twin brothers on each side of the conflict, and then they kind of have to move over. That game still is a lot of fun. It still looks pretty good, even though it's, almost 20 years old, and it hasn't had any real fan updates, although there was, a fan game that came very close to release, and I forget who crapped on them, probably EA, set it back. Because I know, Star Siege Tribes, it still has, a lot of active servers, which is a crazy fun, team shooter. It's kind of, I guess, similar to Player Unknown, except it's not really, you get these massive maps and you can have battle royales, but it's mostly teams and you get classes. It's like Team Fortress with flying vehicles, which is one of my favorite parts of that, because you have somebody in heavy armor with a mortar cannon on their arm and somebody else in the light armor with the laser designator, and you can just drop rounds forever.
Hey everybody.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yes, Earth Siege 2 is very... you can get Tribes... Star Siege is all free. They actually released it a few years ago, where you can download all of them. All the Earth Siege, Star Siege, all those games are out there. Which here, I will even find it and share it with you all.
Here's a Game Genie if anyone wants one.
Oh no.
They're scattered around.
Where?
Okay, you're
Yeah, oh no. Did they take? Oh no. I don't know if the website's still up for that. That's kind of scary. Ooh.
What's in this priority mail envelope?
Probably something priority.
It's so sealed. What Wing Commander's secret are we about to unlock?
almost certainly animation cells.
Well, at least you knew it was coming, right?
Yep, here's the. It's a Hellcat's radar.
Ooh.
Or maybe Scimitar's radar. We'd have to figure out exactly which episode it's from. Alright, you got him. You got this, man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play. Oh, I thought he walked out of the room. So I'm gonna play his turn and just crush everybody into the ground. Even though you can't do that in this. If anything, trying to like screw up somebody else's game in this is like you just have their turn go by. You know, like don't have anything move. All right, let me see where the hell this Strived Universe website is gone, which is very scary.
You know, that's kind of the modern internet.
But no, this was something they put up later to allow people to download all of them.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is disappearing as folks realize there's one unfortunate trend right now is folks realizing there's serious money in retro gaming in 2020.
Yeah, I see it's on Google, which it's on Wishlist. Sorry. Wait, no, it's on CNET. Yeah, if I always call it Google, no matter what. You'll never. That's like I try to get people to call them ad, even though I know it's AD. That's not it either. No. What's weird is that website was just up a few months ago because I was looking at it, and I think I downloaded everything off of it. I hope.
I mean, the good thing is that for most IPs, there are crazy fans like us out there who are preserving this stuff. And when this has passed and companies don't think they can make a bajillion dollars off of old games, then we're still here.
Nope. Our man Keenan. What do you got for me? What's this telling me? When's this from? Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, okay. That's only tribes. What about Star Siege and Earth Siege?
If you're curious what I'm doing back here, I'm looking at this Japanese DOS V copy of Wing Commander 1 because one of the games, the ones I'm really looking for, is the Secret Missions 1 and 2 version of this, which comes in an almost identical box with different kanji text on the bracket. And there is a copy of one of them up on Japanese Yahoo auctions right now. It's going for $5, and I wanted to see if it was the one I had or the one I needed. Unfortunately, it's the one I have. So, auctions.yahoo.co.jp. Get yourself a Wing Commander 1 for DOS V.
I don't think this is actually doing anything.
It's ready for you.
I know. I just was wanting to see what it says. Like starting download, but then was just. I think that was just actual static text. Oh, baby! All right,
Remember
then.
download websites like Two Cows, where it would just be random files and utilities and things, and you would kind of sort through them and enjoy yourself. I miss that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, those are all like virus holes, if they exist at all.
What? Oh, that's why that's been doing that. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm pretty sure we're very close. Yeah, to
we
the.
should be very close. There's no reason why
Yeah.
it should continue.
End the suffering now.
RNG Jesus.
I will. The dice have rolled my way twice now, so
That was a 0.
I'm not gonna.
Another 3 Banshees lost.
Yep.
To just 2 Goron.
Those are 3-3.
3 Goron.
Yeah, because I saw. Yeah, I wanted to make that one. I was nervous that I wasn't gonna get the luck again, so I pulled that.
Man, that's yikes.
Yep. Let's see. 3.
It hurts.
It does. So everybody moved. Yeah, you're good. That's all good. I don't care about that. You're moving. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Ugh, all these things are pointing to the same damn thing that's not there anymore.
They must have taken it down.
Yeah. Well, that's weird. The person who originally did the tweet from 2015, their name is now Rebel Galaxy Oshri. It's Dave Oshri, so I don't know if that's somebody that Howie knows. Let's see. I have no idea, actually. Senior Director at Rocket Works. Is that where Howie works?
It's Double Damage Games is the
thing,
developer
yeah.
of
So I don't know. Oh, I don't know who the hell this is.
A lot of people change their Twitter names, and it's frustrating, and I hate it. But they change it to whatever they're playing or wherever they're
Oh,
going.
okay. So it's not like Stag. Yeah, that's sweet. You can't be changing names.
Joe Blow at Star Trek Las Vegas. I don't care. And you know, I have some people. There was this period at the start where like people do it as funny, like, haha, now I'm Screamo Barbarian. And I have like a couple people on my Twitter who still do that, and I have no idea who you are. I follow 500 people, and you are not interesting enough for me to be able to tell that Screamo Barbarian is guy I knew in high school.
Okay. Oh my god, it shouldn't be too much longer, right? This sector's gonna run out of resources.
Yeah, that's the thing I noticed. I was like, why is that shipyard doing anything? It's because the planet was dry. Go. Will she shine on me again? Oh, maybe it's on that. That's the other great thing. Star Siege has one of the best boxes of lore when you buy. Because you got Tribes and started the same box, and it had this gigantic timeline book, full color, all these great things that somebody put up online recently as the Star Siege Compendium, which is absolutely amazing, which I will actually even put out there because it's so great. Because it creates the whole world. It goes back to the original games with Earth Siege, and then through it, and because then Tribes happens, I think, several hundred years after Star Siege, and it explains the gap and all that type stuff and
vertical integration.
Yeah. Well, it's great. Like I was saying, it's great because your two main characters are Mark Hamill. Mm-hmm. He plays twin brothers. Kanan and I think Kanan and Harabic Weathers are their names. There's none of these that are.
This would have been just after Mark Hamill realized how much money there was in video games.
Yeah, because I think this was 1999.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he must have just been trying to crank it. Yeah, none of these are. Nobody's complaining about them not being there, so that it's all crap only. I know my big ass problem was that I couldn't get the damn game to just install completely off the CDs and play the videos. It would install, but then the videos would have to have the CD, and my internal drive died, and I'm not bothering to fix it, and I have an external one, but it's a pain in the ass to have to remember to turn it on and off and all that, 'cause you don't want to kill that too. So. Alright. This should say something good, I hope, to me. Yeah! That's not good. The random number generator did not work in my favor that time. I had to definitely did not work in my favor. That was the first battle that I've gone against the Kilrathi. Okay. All right, Chris, you're up, sir. I don't know what this is. What stinks is that it was all out there. Now they're just like spread out in places. But you can still find it out there. This was that great 3D effects era, you know? This is why Canopus really got its... I really got its money's worth.
Were you still using a Mac then, or had you moved on to a
99 definitely had a PC. We got the Gateway 2000, I think, late, like 95, 96. Because I remember having it before Wing Commander 4, but after Wing Commander 3 had come out, because I remember seeing that in the things. But yeah, at that point I already had, like, I had those Mac Thrustmasters, I had... But that was Super Wing Command. No, I hadn't Super. You sent me Super Wing Commander later on. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that one, yeah, that was, and then yeah, I didn't have a whole lot till after that. Then the explosion was basically 96 through onwards. That's when I got the F-16 and all that, which is amazing that I managed to talk my dad into actually.
One more, you say?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm surprised. Well, it's just a matter of. It's really a matter of I'm being a coward. I'm not going to lie, and hiding behind a fortress at essentially the critical junction of the whole map. So.
Okay, Point Pandora.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I'm just waiting for Chris to decide to run at me with like 47 ships and just be like, oh shit, because that's what I foresee happening. I should have built more shipyards out here, but I was clearly not thinking straight. Not everybody, that's everybody.
It's possible to lose your carrier and still win the battle. It's something like the carrier is worth 100 points.
Oh,
but if you have enough of the map built up and enough other ships, you can still outscore.
Didn't we discover that in one of them or something where it came close?
I think I just knew that.
Oh, all right. You jerk. Because there was one, I think, when we did the sector, that we were both surprised, like the scores, because he was going on a straight march, like trying to get to me, where I'm just spreading everywhere. So I think I got a ton of points, but he got the carrier kill, which put him just slightly over, because it wasn't that. I think it's not that big. It's going to be a special sympathetic. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, let's
Yep, well, I'm just trying to dump all this stuff. I ain't going to lie. Let's get it all in there. Get it in there. Ooh.
What is the result? General second.
And I got nothing over here, right? Because I don't care. Okay. I got nothing to move.
What is going on?
I got nothing to move, and I've just essentially abandoned my rear. Oh! Beating your head against my fortress. Nope, Scout just lost Earth.
Good. He was trying to get there.
Yep, you got the losing. Yep.
We can also save this and resume it later.
If it comes down, or we both of us just move our carriers out into the open and let the dice roll. Which really just goes to show you that you don't need a giant infrastructure that you spend a lot of turns building with hundreds and hundreds of credits, and you can just roll with like 6 systems and get lucky. Right.
This is good.
Here we go. Oh, it's the same results as before. Got concerned there for a minute.
Just logistically, it's just going to take too many turns. Do we need to pause it? And
Oh no! I'm rolling the dice right now.
so you can leave?
Here's what's gonna happen. I'm doing it.
Yes.
I am venturing out of my lair, and we're about to see what happens. I hope you don't have 400 fighters on that thing, because it's gonna get really ugly. Wait, is there any fighters in there? Okay, it's just that. Okay. This is it. The screen will tell us what happens. Oh, you've got to be.
How does that keep happening?
Or
How
nothing.
many ships do I keep throwing at him?
Uh,
and it just never resolves.
But wait, how did I not kill the carrier? Oh, because it
moved-
jumped away.
I moved
oh,
the
it
carrier
pulled
away.
Yeah, I gotcha.
How does that keep happening?
Huh.
I have...
Now, who's got the odds in their favor, huh? People are quickly trying to make side bets, split their bets. Yep. Yep, stockpile all that stuff for me. I'm going to need it for my new empire. Of course, what's going to happen is the next turn you get blown up anyways, but you got to talk smack right till the last moment. Oh, alright, you can try to throw.
Okay. This one doesn't do it.
Let's see, do we get the movie?
That's the same. That's the
Oh
same.
damn! I got so excited for half a second.
You gotta do your turn.
Alright.
And
Oh, that was stupid. I left this transport with all these supplies there. Well, that sucks. Oh well. Alright, what do I have on board? Please don't say 17. Okay. Well, we'll try to force this. Fortune favors the bold. That would be my carrier exploding. Damn.
you got it was way closer than I expected.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah. If you look, I have like 7 bases and then like 20 empty systems because they were uselessly at the end of a line that went nowhere.
Wow.
That was a terrible starting point. Oh, here we go.
Wow.
There we
Okay.
go.
So the final. Read the final stats out.
So you have let's see, for fighters, I had all zeros across. You had 6 heavy fighters, 19 mines, 6 shipyards, 24 planets explored. I had 10 mines, 4 shipyards, 1 fortress, and 18 planets. That was good, but that was a horrible sector we got. Like, it was just 2 little branches and one
rough sector and
Yeah.
half was just like.
Yeah, the roll was going in my favor a lot there.
Wow.
Well, I guess now. Well, what a way to end. Screen number 2.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That was
not for all the millions of viewers out there, but that was a lot more exciting than I expected.
That I agree. Yeah, I was actually expecting like, oh crap, here he comes with like 40 banshees. I'm about to just get stomped, and it just kept rolling right.
Well, we're going to sign off, and we will see you all on Thursday or at any time on Discord.
Yep.
See you out there.